Okay, Rich, when I was doing my research, you told me that you could have been a professional golfer, but you went pro punting instead. You regret that?
Um, well, no regrets, but I didn't actually leave golf to um, become a pro punter. There's a probably near on 2 year timeline to that, which we could go into. But yeah, I mean, I loved golf. I loved golf like I did dogs. I had the proper bug for it. It was crazy. Started when I was like 13, but by the time I was 15, I was doing quite well, playing the junior opens and playing with Justin Rose, a bit of a claim to fame. You know, he's like 3, 4 years younger than me, but that's how good he was. He was playing with the older boys, and yeah, a lot of good players that went on to be on tour and stuff like that. So when I left school, they offered me the PGA apprenticeship at the local course. That you basically what you do with that is it's for probably the players that are not so further forward. Ian Poulter, I think, did it that way as well. I think a couple did. And what you do is you learn like more about coaching as well. You learn about running a golf course. You learn about everything to do with golf. So you've got a career in golf, whatever way you want to go. If you want to be a coach, you do whatever you want. And so it's great. You know, I was out of school on a Friday. I was into that on a Monday. So no going to college or uni and going partying and doing all what my mates were all doing. And I was really into it. You know, I was really into golf. But I suppose after a few years, your head gets turned. You're a bit young. My mates are out drinking, girls, and especially dog racing, probably worst of all. They used to go, "What are you wasting your time going dog racing for? That's an old man sport, dead end." That's what they'd say all the time. But they didn't realise I was actually doing quite well out there. You know, like in terms of my wages, I was like sometimes double my wages going down the dogs in what I could earn from there. And I was going in the bookies by then as well, because I was sort of 17, 18 and that sort of age. And when my mates had a day off in the week, we'd go anywhere, whoever had a car, we'd be going off to like Walthamstow, Bags. We'd be going off to Bristol, Bags. We'd be doing all sorts of stuff. So it was great days, that was. Going back to golf, there was sort of a light bulb moment actually, because I thought about this, and it was like my local hero at the time was a guy called Rob Edwards. Used to work with him, and we used to practice after work, things like that. And he was just another planet. You know, to us juniors, he was like our local hero. And one year he left the course to go and try and get his tour card, but he went on the Challenge Tour, which is like the second one down, like the championship, if you like. And I remember he won an event. I think it was the Danish Open. So he did well. He won an event, and he got invited to the Volvo PGA Tour Championships at Wentworth, with the big boys. And I remember in the practice round, we were walking the fairways with him. We beat Colin Montgomery in the practice round. So I don't think he made the cut. But you could tell, he could mix it. Anyway, he come back from that first season off, and we said, "How'd you get on?" And he broke level. You know, after all his expenses and getting around, he broke level. And we were like, "What?" That's like, devastated me inside really, because I was like, I'm going to spend 5-10 years trying to emulate Rob Ward and Steve Richardson, all them sort of local, the ones we looked up to. Well, Nick Fowler's obviously hero and stuff like that, but people were looking up to and know really what level you got to get to. It wasn't defeatist, just very realist. And because my head was turned to more of a, this golf's hard. Anyone who thinks professional punting's hard, it's like a joke shop. Not at all. We're not the ones having to run around a dog track 28 seconds. But if you're playing golf, well, you're doing it all. Not only have you got to have the mentality, the mindset, and that sort of thing, you're doing the lot. So, yeah, I really got disillusioned with it. Coincided with this sort of time is when I was getting an earner down the dogs. Like, proper. I was writing it down each month. I was winning. I was even winning the bookies a little bit. Again, not get yourself at it that think I could make a living or anything like that. But I was sometimes doubling my wages and getting an earner. And I bought a dog. Great idea. Didn't even own a car at that time. So there's your priorities as a young kid, isn't it? Didn't have a dog, but didn't have a car, but I want a race dog. So I saw it in Sport and Life. Repeat mating this bitch out of so and 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 so. Didn't know who they were, but it said Welsh Wizard, who was this Bristol dog I was following. I loved him. He kept winning off the back. He was just a nice, genuine dog. I went, I'll have that. 250. Yeah, I'll have that. Mate of mine drove me up to Wales to pick her up. Come back. The other lads helped me out get a trainer, and they said, yeah, there you go. And they worked out as a £5 a day, and plus expenses. And I was like, it's actually a bit juicier than I thought it might be. I didn't even think about it. That's the sort of age you are, isn't it? So I need someone to come in. make any of the Pompey dogs lads laugh, but Shan, the ice cream man, he wasn't a bookie then, but he ended up a bookie. He was down the golf course, and I said, Shan, do you want to come in on this bitch? I like her brother, I like the half brother, and I gave him a bit of spiel about it. And he went, how much do you pay? I said, $250 plus the expenses up to Wales. He went, I'll give you a oneer. Typical Shan. So I learned I should have just said a monkey, shouldn't I? But you don't when you're that age or anything, do you anyway? And but he's good as gold, and I think I owned other dogs with him as well. I can't remember. And so I had this dog, and I was really besotted by being an owner. I loved it. When I could go up the kennels on a Sunday, I'd go and do all that sort of stuff that most people do now. And I remember she went through the grade. She was pretty good. So she went all the way up to like S1, so over 6 pence. She ran an open, a good first one to own, that's for sure. Well, she went from an A6 to an A4. I'm pretty sure it was this date, and then she was an outsider because she had a 2-grade lift. Well, I went to the kennels and said, I had 20 quid in her at 6 to 1 when she won on the double upgrade. And he went, how do you get 6 to 1? She SP'd 9 and 2. And I went, well, one of the lads went 5s, and I just went, can I have 6 scores? And they went, go on, the typical blag sort of thing. Just saw that every week. That was the response I got all the time. And he went, oh right, okay, well done. Yeah, that's interesting. Obviously, he must have put 2 and 2 together and thought about it. Well, anyway, comes to me after this sort of period and goes, can you put a couple of bets on for me? I went, what do you want? He goes, 20 quid on this and a tenner on this. I thought, fine, no problem at all. That's well in range. State-wise, control, as good as gold. So they weren't favourites. I thought, well, I'll go with him. What I'll do is I'll just match the stakes he give me. I won't tell anyone, just keep it quiet, and that's the way we roll. And I was blagging the death out of them. Extra half point here, point there. I was very red hot on that, and was turning a profit off it each month easily. Just not again mega money, tortoise job, just chipping away. Some months might make a couple of hundred. Paid all my kennel bills, didn't it? And things like that. The way I looked at it, it was just. I was just enjoying my hobby, and it was free. Basically, my hobby was free, and I was learning, and I wasn't losing. Great recipe. So we were doing this for a while. Well, anyway, he comes to me one time. He goes, "Your bitch is going to run well tonight. Have this on for me." He gave me like 2,500 quid. I thought, bloody hell, he normally gives me 30 quid, 40 quid. So I thought, okay, well, this is a goer. I had about 70, 80 quid on me at the time. I think something like that. Most I ever had on at that point in my life. And my mates are there with me. I'll have 20, I'll have 30. Went and told Shannon, I'll have a oneer. So we had a bit of a chunk between us. And we get round the main ring, 9 to 4. Smash, bang, bang, wallop, gone. Want us. 2s, gone. Well, one of my mates was clerking for one of the main bookies. And I said, can I have 2s? And he went, that's the owner. And he can go on, down to the owner. You can have like 2.5 or whatever I wanted. I think they used to look after owners better at dog tracks, and I think the bookies had more of a, they were doing well. They look after owners, and I think they look after the younger people. That's the way I saw it anyway, because they're thinking future customers. It made sense. Anyway, lads got on 7 to 4, 6 to 4, when odds on. First bend, she's last, but going around the third bend, she's gone 3-4 clear drawing away to win. So go around and sort out the trainer, and I said, I've got your 2s. He went, I thought it opened 9 to 4. And I took it as a compliment. I think he probably thought, oh, he'll get 4s. I'm such a good blagger, this kid. Well, no, I said, no, obviously, it's chaos out there. Everyone wanted on. And, I know what ground racing is. I knew that there was a certain level you didn't want to start punting over. I was learning valuable lessons again, taking them on board. The moment you go over a certain level, you're into a slightly different game. You're into a slightly different way. You're not going to be able to blag. You're not going to be able to sort of maintain under the radar. But the other thing was, obviously, it was all kennel staff money. And there's so many people down a dog track that I reckon would rather have a pat on the back than win a 50. Honestly do. It's an ego sort of thing. I think they look to go down and get on this tonight, get on this is going to go well. And you have to be careful of that. Loose slips sink ships. I straight away I clocked it. I thought there's only because there's like a Chinese whispers. Kennel Ann's told someone else with a big mouth. They've told someone else, and everyone wants to look good. Simple. So never forgot it. So yeah, in conjunction with sort of this love of dogs, and I definitely took my eye off the ball with golf, got a bit disillusioned, and I left golf.
Are there any similarities in your mindset to from golf to punting?
It was uncanny, absolutely uncanny. you know, let's think for starters, you spend a lot of time on your own practicing. That would be the time you spend alone doing your videos and your form. You know, you're always on your own. A round of golf takes about the same time as a greyhound meeting, 4 hours, 3-4 hours, and that sort of thing. So you need to be concentrating for that period solidly. You know, each race could be the equivalent of a golf hole. You know, if you make a birdie, what do? Keep a lid on it, stay in the zone, repeat. It's the same as if you had a winning race. Don't get carried away. Repeat, carry on. If you ever lose it, you know, if you hit a ball in the trees and have a bad hole, you need to really fire yourself up, bounce back quick. You ain't got time to be moping about feeling sorry for yourself. Same as if you lost on a race. It's just, come on, you've got to move on. You've channeled that anger back up. You know, that these things were amazing. Even go to the extent after the round, what do? You evaluate your performance. What did I do well? What didn't I do well? Right, let's go back to the practice ground, work on it. And it's a constant circle. So without knowing it, I already had these mental skills, and this outlook just was a transition into pro punting. It's exactly the same, especially pro punting on greyhounds. You know, the work ethic and everything like that just was natural in me from such a young age. So I had absolutely no drama at all with any of that. Yeah, so, you know, I'm quite thankful for that.
Then, of course, you're of the era that the exchanges come in. Was that a game changer?
Well, of course, yeah. Anyone around the same sort of time in the early 2000s is going to say exactly the same. If it wasn't for Betfair, I wouldn't have done what I did. However, how it came about, ironically, it's not one of these you wake up in the morning and think you're going to be a pro punter. It didn't happen for me like that. I doubt it happens to too many. I was left golf and I was sort of just munging around, and my dad said, look, you can't do this. You're going to have to do something. You know, you can't just mung around. So he said, go in the Royal Air Force. Now, my dad was an officer in the Navy, and my granddad was in the Navy. But he said, go in the Air Force. I said, why go in the Air Force? He said, they've got the most money for sport. You play golf for the Air Force, you play golf for the Tri-Service. I thought, yeah, all right. So I went down the careers office. They said, what do you want to do? I said, intelligence analyst. They said, do you need a degree for that? I said, I ain't got a degree. I said, I left school on a Friday with CM, Maths and English and sport, and I was like playing golf on a Monday. He went, all right. So I did an aptitude test, and they went, yeah, you can get in without a degree. Crazy, because of golf. So he was right, he was true. They are really into it that bad. So yeah, I went in. You did need a degree to do that job. You know, I was bottom of the class, absolute dunce. You know, I couldn't keep up with these lads. They was fresh out of uni, computer geeks. I was just not in the same league as them. But I did have a big edge on my fitness, you know, because I was a sporty kid. So even though I was bottom of the class, I did have some sort of edge. But to cut a long story short, I got injured on like this little salt course thing. And there was a massive cock up. I had to go to bloody Bedford. The base hospital was shut. I had to go to Bedford A&E. I was there for like 6 hours or something stupid, 8 hours. And they were honest. They said, look, you might have a problem down the line. You're okay, but you might have a problem down the line. Here's a compensation package you can take if you want and leave, because we might not be able to offer you the position you originally wanted. And so I took it. And you know, there's always the backup. The good thing about service is always a backup that you get a pension or an ongoing physio and stuff like that from them if there is these problems. So there I am, back at my mum's. My mum and dad got divorced. I'm moved back to Portsmouth, back at my mum's house. I'm on crutches, got nothing going on. 25 years old. I hobble around the bookies. My mate's brother Dave's in there. He says, you still following the dogs much? I said, yeah. I'm going to, you know, when I was away, I was going to Milton Keynes, I was going to Henlow, all sorts of stuff. He said, have you tried Betfair? I said, what is that? He said, online, you can bet against other people, you can lay bets, you can put your own prices in, do all sorts of stuff. This sounds like paradise. So I went home, and obviously I've got a couple of grand in the bank, that's it, to my name. And just by mucking around for 3-4 weeks, I'd caught like, you know, just under 2 grand. Well, I was waiting, I had a job offer. It was like 1,500 a month for this job. Well, I just won 800 quid in 3 weeks, messing about. I thought, I've got no responsibilities. All I need is moving my mates. I need my rent and beer tokens. You know, why don't I just have a go at this for a while? This is really good fun, and just see what happens. And basically that was it. No looking back then.